My beloved child, there are moments when the noise of the world overwhelms your mind, but now you will hear the stillness, not because the world is silent, but because your soul is beginning to remember what I placed inside you from the very moment of your creation. That moment is now. It does not come with loud applause, but as a quiet, gentle, holy whisper in your spirit. That is how I move when I am about to reveal something that was never hidden from you, but reserved for you. You have walked many long paths, often confusing stillness with absence, but I have never left your side. I have watched each morning as you rise, carrying burdens no one sees, stepping into the world with quiet strength, but also doubt about your place. You call it waiting, but I call it preparation. You thought you stood still, but beneath your feet, I have been tending the soil. Now you need no more signs or permission. What you need is to hear again what I have never stopped whispering. Your potential in me is limitless. You have mistaken your capacity for your circumstances, but I measure differently. Where you see delay, I see depth being formed. Where you see limitation, I see refinement. I do not call you based on readiness, but on my design. You were never meant to play small with what I placed within you. I remember clearly the moment you stopped reaching higher, not because the vision left you, but because disappointment made you fold it away. You began to fear being misunderstood more than being unfulfilled. You muffled the volume of your dreams, wrapping them in logic, hoping to shield them from future hurt. But child, callings do not shrink, they wait. The fire I placed in you still burns beneath the ashes. You feel it whenever you see someone stepping boldly forward. Your chest tightens, not from envy, but recognition. You feel it when the world slows enough for your spirit to awaken. That stirring is not confusion, it is memory. The memory of what I whispered before your soul was weighed down by the urgencies of survival. You were not made to blend in. You were not made simply to function. I breathed life into you so you could stand with authority, greater than you have dared to believe. The world does not need a version of you that fits in. It needs the real you, the one who does not second-guess every gift, the one who is not afraid to bear weight, the one who understands that quiet obedience often precedes visible impact. Do you know what happened when I called those before you? I did not wait for them to be perfect. I met them amid confusion, fear, and hesitation. One was still threshing grain and hiding. Another was covered in the dust of sheep fields. One heard my call through fire, another through the breath of wind. They were not ready either. But I was not looking for perfection. I was looking for surrender. You keep waiting for clarity, but what you truly need is courage. And that courage comes not from certainty, but from my presence. You are not walking into your next season alone. You step with me. I do not send you empty. I fill you as you go. You do not have to carry the full weight of your vision all at once. You only need to stop stepping back from it. Yes, some days will feel heavy, not because you are failing, but because you are growing. Expansion always pushes beyond what you thought was your limit. With me, there are no limits. I did not only give you a future, but favor to walk into it. So let us begin again, not from where you fell, but from where I am lifting you now. Forget timelines. Forget who noticed or ignored you. Forget applause or silence. This is not about being seen. It is about being faithful. What I whispered to your spirit years ago has not changed. It has only waited for you to believe it again. There is a reason it never left you, because I never left you. The ground is shifting beneath your feet. You feel it not as fear, but as holy urgency, the sense that you cannot keep living under the weight of almost, the sense that comfort has begun to feel like captivity. That is not frustration. It is your soul awakening. It is the divine pulse beneath the surface of your everyday life. So take the step, not the loud one, but the real one. Step it to the whisper that has never ceased calling you toward the horizon. Not a fantasy or fairy tale, but a future that has awaited your full yes. Because your potential partnered with my presence is not only alive, it is limitless. You have worn strength like a mask, have you not? Polished, competent, outwardly composed. But I have seen the quiet unraveling beneath. The moments when you convinced yourself that enduring everything meant you were walking in purpose. The truth is, you confuse survival with calling, endurance with identity. You learned to keep going, not because you were inspired, but because stopping felt like failure. But I never asked you to become a monument to pressure. I invited you to be a vessel of my presence. There has been a silent narrative ruling your inner world, a voice saying, you must earn rest. You must prove your worth. You must not fall behind. That voice is not mine. It was born from broken systems and moments when you were unprotected. You once believed that the more invisible your needs, the more valuable you were. But I am tearing down that lie, not to expose your weakness, but to show you that you have built on the wrong foundation. You were never meant to carry your calling alone. I did not place your vision inside to torment you, but to mature through intimacy with me. You have tried to fulfill what only I can sustain. That is why the dream feels heavy and your gifts feel distant. You thought you needed to try harder, but child, this is not a discipline issue. It is disconnection. Let me speak clearly. You do not need to be more impressive or perfect. I did not wait for you to be perfect when I called you. I called you in your brokenness, your vulnerability. Your true potential is born not in ambition, but in availability. Not in proving, but in presence. Let me confront this. You have waited to be chosen by those unauthorized to see your worth. You thought their recognition would validate your vision, but I never outsourced that authority. You will not have to choose between vision and rest, between discipline and delight. You will flow. You will move with grace. You will stop second-guessing if it is too late, too much, or too soon. So hear me, not just with your ears, but with your spirit. You are not late. You are not disqualified. You are not too much. You are not alone. You are not broken beyond use. You are not unprepared. You are not missing anything essential. You are exactly where I planned for you to be when I formed you. The exhaustion you feel did not come from laziness, but from pretending. Pretending to be okay when you were not. Pretending the delays did not hurt. Pretending you did not want more. You kept your hands full of responsibility while your heart quietly emptied. You felt safer than facing rejection. You built walls not only around your heart, but around your calling. But the fire I placed in you was never meant to be caged, and you were never meant to survive behind emotional armor. There is also a deeper spiritual fatigue that comes from living out of alignment with your own spirit. You have given, built, helped, pushed, often outside of the grace zone I assigned for you. You understand what I mean? Beneath it all is grief. Unprocessed, unresolved, unnamed grief. You grieved the years lost to fear. You grieved the moments you needed support but received silence. You grieved the version of yourself who used to dream without hesitation. I have been present through every wave of that grief, even when you did not cry or speak it aloud. I caught every sigh. Your soul was never designed to live in contradiction. You are being made whole, not by force, but by truth. The kind of truth that does not just inform, but frees. It began subtly, like light softening a dark room before it becomes visible. A quiet moment that did not feel like absence but invitation. A deep breath that did not end in anxiety. You may not have called it breakthrough, but it was, because when I begin to move, I rarely do so with spectacle. I move resonantly, responsively. These are signs not of what might happen, but of what is already unfolding. A new kind of favor rests upon your life, not the kind that demands recognition, but that aligns with the unseen hand of heaven. You will not have to knock on every door this time. Some doors are opening effortlessly, not by manipulation, but by maturity, because you finally understand it is not about being everywhere, but about being where you are meant to be. Even if the evidence seems incomplete, trust the signs. Trust the softness returning to your language. Trust the way stillness no longer feels foreign. The winds have shifted, not because your circumstances changed, but because you did. Because you said yes to seeing differently. You stopped begging for the past and began preparing for the new. That subtle, spiritual, steady shift is already attracting what belongs to your future. Conversations will feel different. Doors will open. You will not have to force or convince. What I have marked, I will maintain. What I have started, I will complete, and I have already begun. So yes, this is a turning point, not because you demanded it, but because you were ready to release what held you back. You will walk lighter, not because the road changed, but because you did. And with every step, I will whisper what has always been true. Your potential is limitless. Your body tries to protect your clarity. You do not have to wait for collapse to realize you have gone too far. I give you permission to pause, to cancel, to reschedule, not out of weakness, but wisdom. This is holy stewardship. Your mornings are now sacred. No more waking and diving into reaction. Give me your first awareness, even if only 2 minutes. Do not scroll before breathing with me. Do not rush before anchoring. Start your day. Your time is shifting. How you steward it will mirror your belief in what I have said. Guard your hours like a garden, not a battlefield. Every yes to what drains you is a no to what could heal you. Calendar peace, calendar rest, calendar joy. If you only make time for the urgent, you will never make space for the holy. Rest is not a reward. It is a command, not selfish. It is sacred. Protect your mornings, your integrity over image, peace over performance, silence over panic. I am there. I am moving. I am building the life you were designed to carry. You are not only receiving new insight, you are becoming a new instrument, one that knows how to carry power without pressure, one that speaks with clarity, not noise, one that reflects my presence not only in public, but in private. That is where the true glory is, in unseen obedience, unnoticed surrender. So here's what I want you to hear. The version of you I am calling back now is not to shame you, but to rebuild you. You have been applauded for strength that was really suppression. You have been admired for consistency that was really self-neglect. You have been labeled resilient when all you wanted was rest. You answered to identities like dependable, problem solver, rock because it made others feel safe, but it cost you your softness. I never called you to become armor. It is not freedom, it is a cage. Freedom begins when you let me dismantle it. You are not the expectations placed on you. You are not the role you played to keep peace. You are not the silence you swallowed. You are not the version of yourself you presented to be needed. Let me say this clearly. You are not what drained you. You are not the systems that used you. You are not the titles that trapped you. You are not the strength you had to perform. You will still serve, but from fullness, not fatigue. You will still speak, but from authenticity, not image. You will still lead, but from overflow, not obligation. The world told you to be palatable. I tell you to be present. The world asked you to be perfect. I ask you to be true. The world taught you to be silent. I call you to be whole. And wholeness is not just healing from what hurt you. It is remembering who you were before you believed you had to earn love. Your day does not begin with strategy, but with surrender. Just say, "Here I am," and let that be enough. My presence does not require perfection. It only requires truth. There are things I want to show you that can only be received in stillness. That is why I invite you into quiet, not as a withdrawal from life, but as a return to source. Set aside time each day where you consume nothing, fix nothing, learn nothing, just be. In that stillness, I will begin to clarify what noise has clouded. I receive it all.